Hello. Hello. Well, nothing to do really. Just chilling. That's all. We're just chilling. Who's in the chat then? Oh, blimey. We've got people. It's a lockdown. We've got 4 people. Blimey. What's going on here? Blimey. Andy's in. Hello, Andy. And then Lynn was in. Hello, but she's in and out because she's getting ready for work and that. So, because it's early in the morning for Lynn, I think, at the moment. Then James is in. Hello, James. And Scott's in. Scott's pop. Scott, are you at work, Scott, or are you at work? I can't remember. He's got to work, or is he on? I think you are, aren't you? So he's probably got headphones in. So he don't want loud noises because it makes him jump when he's trying to polish. So it's fine. You'll be fine. So what was I going to do? I was just going to do some basing and chat about what I've been doing. That's all. You can tell me what you're doing. 7 a.m. in New Mexico. Has the snow gone? I can't believe it snowed at Lynn's. And he's moist. All right. Yep, Scott's at work, and Lynn's going to tell us in a minute if the snow has gone or if she's still got snow. I cannot honestly believe it snowed in New Mexico. That's like, what's going on here? The world's upside down anyway. So, it melted the same day. Lynn. At least you had a little bit. Better than none, I suppose. A little bit's fine. It's when you get lots of it. It's not very nice. It's horrible stuff, and it's not very nice. So what's everybody been up to? Oh. And Mr. Skippy's off work for another month. Playing with his Sherman. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Obviously, I don't get that. I'm not allowed that. I'm not allowed to have furlough time off and all that lot. Doesn't matter. Is what it is. Is what it is. I can't believe people are still idiots. So the amount of panic buying is just like, just get on with it, you idiots. They're stupid. They really are. It's like, what happened last time? The shop stayed open all the time. What happened this time? The shops are open all the time. I don't get it. Whatever. It's political. So anyway, what have I been doing? I've been doing my resin art stuff, book art, things in books, in wedges. The Spitfire. What I've been doing it. I've been filming it. Yep, Dave. And he says, Dave, people are Waziks, they don't care about anything but themselves. I'll tell you what it is, mate. I've worked it out. It's primitive. I'm short of pale. James is short of bog roll. I've worked it out. It's a primitive thing. It's that hunter-gatherer attitude where you were in your cave and you had your tribe, and then you went out and you gathered everything you possibly could because you didn't know when you were going to get it again. It's a human instinct, I suppose. But then you'd think after 4,000 years we'd have got over that. Obviously not. But I'm convinced that's what it is. Some people have still got that hunter-gatherer attitude where I have to get it, then I'm, for my tribe and my family sort of thing. But I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. What do I know, really? Anyway, so the Spitfire in the book. What's going in that book? Oh, I'm just not going to look at that. It's fine. Lids on it. And what I've been doing is I've been filming it and then pausing it and then filming it because it's a series of pause over a series of days. It seems to be working. Do you want a sneak preview? Yeah. Do you want a sneaky preview? We're at the stage where the Spitfire is starting to put in it. So we started off. I wanted to give that impression that you were looking down on it coming up at you. So I did the fields, and that was quite fun. And then did a few pours, and then started to put in some cloud effect. And now we're at the stage where the Spitfire's in there, just about. The tail end's in there, and I've probably got about another 2 or 3 pours, depending on, because it's obviously it's getting wider. The higher up you go, that amount of resin only covers so much. So I've increased the amount of resin I'm pouring into it. I've doubled it to 100 grams and 50 grams, 150 grams altogether. And the thing I'm worried about is cracking. If you pour too much of this stuff, it's not designed to be poured in huge depths. Some resins are. This one isn't. This one is, I think it's about a centimetre, I think they said. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It's a centimetre depth. So it's taking time to pour it. The only issue is, it's not really an issue because it's not designed to be looked at from the side. If you looked at it from the side, you can actually see the resin lines, the pour lines. They're very faint, but you can actually make them out. But fortunately, it's not designed to be looked at like that. It's designed to be looked at like that in a book on a stand. So it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. Once it's in the book, once it's up to about here, and it's in the book, and the Spitfire is solid, it's fine then. So 2 or maybe 3 pours more of a, and it's 24 hours of time. Oh, right. So it's all experimental stuff. I don't know if anybody else has ever seen anybody doing this sort of stuff before. I've seen people doing resin in blocks with things in it. There's plenty of that about. I've never actually seen anybody doing it in a way shape of fitting it in a book and having the concept of this is a subject of the book leaping out of the book at you, sort of thing. That was the idea behind it. I've got a couple more to do, but I have the acrylic sheeting to do it, and I have the resin to do another one. There's 2 I want to do, but I haven't got the books. I've got the things to go in it. I haven't got the books, and one of them is going to be a bit, will this work or not? Now, I'll show you what I've got. What I've got in mind, the next lot, put that over there. Over there. This dropped me right in it. This is Scott Sutherland's fault. My wife went up the wall because I couldn't find. I wanted to do Moby Dick, which is obviously, it's another water one. It's fine. That's great. I can get hold of that book of Moby Dick from Waterstones. No, it's just dyed resin then. The base of it, where the field is sat on, is just resin. I stained it dark brown and then left it to dry for 24 hours. Put the flock on it. Used a thing called wet water, which is a weird thing. Watch the video. When I put the video up, it will explain what wet water is. If anybody knows what wet water is, put it in the comments. It's a technique. Anyway, so Scott posted me a link, said, "Oh, I found you a little sperm whale, little fit." So like an idiot, I just clicked on the link and, oh yeah, that's all right. So I sent the link to my wife. And then payday, my wife promptly bought it. Turned out this whale cost £19.99 in the end. And when she opened the box, when it turned up, there was a receipt from Hamleys. So she went up the wall about me buying things from Hamleys. So what are you going to get next? Shopping in Harrods? So we've got a very expensive sperm whale that I'm gonna paint white, well, greys and whites and that, and maybe put a few harpoons in its nose and that, and then we'll have that. James, it is water that's wet. Yeah, it is. Yeah, one of them posh German names that I can't pronounce. Whale, but he's gonna get painted white and greys and whites, and then turned into Moby Dick, coming out of the Moby Dick. But that's simple enough. I've got my head around that. I did the U-boat. I can sort that. The one I'm slightly concerned about, and I don't know if it's going to work or not, is this one. Oh, it's down here. It's under my. It's in the cellar under the bench. It's that one. How are we going to do space? That was the thing. I think I've worked out how I can do it, and that's using black Indian ink, but tiny amounts, just to give the hint of blackness, and then using different mixtures of very fine glitter in the mix for the first 2 or 3 pours to give it that look of stars in the distance, and they should as well be a bit sparkly. So that's the plan for the next 2 resin art book art things. But now the lockdown started, Waterstones is closed, so I might have to get the Star Wars book and Moby Dick online. But never mind, don't mind. We're not in a rush. We've got other things to do. I've got so much to do. I have so many kits to build that I don't know the stash. We've all got, most of us have a stash. Jaws, I thought of that one as well, mate, because although I don't know how I'm going to do it, I actually thought of Jaws or the megalodon. I got that as well. So there might be a Jaws or the Meg coming soon as well. But this one is a softy thingy one. What I might have to do is make a little hole in it and fill it full of resin and stiffen him up a bit, because he's a bit floppy. So he might have to get stiffened up a bit. But things you can do. Book on the Titanic. Now I looked at that, James. Airfix starter kits do the Titanic. They've stopped doing, if you can get hold of one, now's the time to grab one quick if they're still about. If you see the Airfix starter kit of the U-boat, the Type 7C U-boat, grab it, because they've stopped producing that one now. Any book? No, not any book would do, Lynn. That's not the point, love. And the other thing was as well, Scott, it's no good denying it. It was your fault. You posted me the link for Hamleys, for goodness sake. We're not all as posh as you Orcadians. What was I going to say? I was going to say something really profound then. Can't think what it was then. It's gone. It's gone. Anyway, let's have a spaghetti in a proper approved cup. Look. Don't tell Dad. Oh, that's good. Oh. Anyway. I was rambling on about something, wasn't I? What was it? Mum in the chat, what was I rambling on about? Lynn, what was I talking about? Lost track. What can do the other? Oh, yes, that was it. Titanic. The Airfix starter Titanic is huge. It's actually bigger than the books that I found. So, unless I can find a smaller Titanic, that's the issue. Dambusters, yeah. See, it's getting the subject to fit inside the book on a small enough scale. Something like the Titanic, which is a big beast of a ship. The scale's got to be something like 1/2,000, 1/200. You know, it's got to be. You know. I mean, I could do the one I thought of doing was a little World War One Mark 1 mail tank, and that would be quite cheaper to do, because the wedge, I could make the wedge or inside the wedge with polystyrene or foam, and then pour really dark stained brown resin around it, so that would cut down the weight and the amount of resin used. And then the top of it just do as mud, just put a big shell hole, and the Mark 1 male climbing out of a shell hole, really. You know, I mean, that'd be quite a nice one to do, I think. Mein Kampf. Andy, where am I going to get a figure of Adolf Hitler? You cannot buy a figure of Adolf Hitler. The only way you could do that, I suppose, if you knew somebody with a 3D printer that said, "Yeah, right, print us off Adolf, will you?" no, that's not very politically correct, Andy. So we won't do that one. No, definitely not, Lynn. No, we won't do that one. But yeah, we'll think of some stuff. I mean, Titanic, I could just do 2 figures on a bit of wood, kind of one in the water and her hanging off the bit of wood. Saying, "No, I don't let you go, Jack." But you know, true, Andy. You never did. See, people in chat, or people that have watched this in 6 months or a year's time or not on the YouTube, you'll soon discover that me and Andy have never ever been politically correct about anything. But you'll get used to it. The Honolulu landings, yeah, that would be a good one to do. Surface of the moon, I suppose. Yeah. You could even, I suppose, you could even do that. Ice movie bubbles around it. You could do, James. Yeah. I suppose the Apollo one, if you got the Apollo moon landing book and had that, you could have it taken off from the moon, couldn't you? The lander, where it separates them. I suppose you could do that. Could have little footsteps left on the surface. Yeah. Oh, what up now? Oh, I've been very naughty today. Very naughty. I went into town earlier and then came back because my wife's not very well. She's got a pain in the side. She thinks she may have appendicitis. I don't think she does. I think she just pulled a muscle, but I'm going to wait for the doctor, see what the doctor says. But I'm pretty sure she's pulled a muscle because she don't feel very sick and she hasn't got a temperature. And reading up on the NHS website, two of the main symptoms of abdominal pain in the lower region and feeling of being sick and a temperature. Signs of appendicitis. But I'm not a doctor. He's turning up later. What's politically correct? Yeah, exactly. Then what is politically correct? Anyway, should we get on and do some stuff? I'm basing while having a nap. I need a monkey bush. A monkey bush for my PVA bush. There he is. A monkey old PVA bush. That was a bit light, wasn't it? I'll make it a little bit. So I'm just going to stick some basing on while you. Oh, Andy, that's a good idea. The Hobbit with smoke on it, yeah. Because there is a D&D company, or a company that does D&D stuff, that do make some very nice, the right sort of size dragons. I've got one on the shelf behind me, a nice dragon, which could quite easily be converted into smooth. There are lots. When you think about it, there's lots of, because I thought, there's water, obviously air and space as your mediums, but there's so many books you can do that you can, actually, the Hobbit with the ring coming out of it. I have somewhere a copy of the ring that I bought years and years and years ago. Don't know where it is. It's got all the engraving on the inside of that. One of the silly things you buy when you're daft. I've also got another ring somewhere. It's got the octopus on it from Spectre. The James Bond ring, the Spectre ring. I suppose I could do that, couldn't I? The book of the films. Have the ring poking out of it. Well, I suppose that'd be visually boring. Warhammer books. Yeah. Yeah, you could do Lynn. I mean, there's loads when you think about it. I sat there for hours an hour. One lunchtime when I was outside having me. No, I'll just throw that one before. Didn't want that one. Didn't like that one. Now then, I've gone under the chair. Oh, we're safe. It's not near a wheel. Because knowing me, what I would have done then is rolled the chair back and run straight over it. Right. Sure. We've all done it. We've all dropped somewhere and then moved the chair back and heard the sickening crack as we run over it. Yeah, I sat there one lunchtime thinking, what could I do in a book? Coming out of a book, what books can I do? I don't want to do too many because, to be honest, it's not cheap. it's a stupidly expensive thing to try and do. Time you work out. So I mean, let's look at that Spitfire for a moment. It's only a £10 starter kit Spitfire, but then it's £25 for the perspex and the acrylic sheeting. It's another £30 for the resin. Although, admittedly, you can get 2 out of 1 bottle of resin. but it still works out quite an expensive thing to do. And then you buy the book for a tenner. By the time you add it all up, you're looking about 50 quid a go to do them. But you know, they're nice. At the end of the day, it's a nice thing. My wife said at the end, when we've done a few, I can take stuff off the shelf. So I'm allowed one shelf in the lounge with my stuff on it. I can take the stuff that's on there off and replace them with the books because she actually likes them. Strange woman. She's strange, my wife. But she likes them. She thinks the U-boat's fantastic. It's really cute. So I'm going to do that. We'll have a go at that. The other thing I was looking at was book stands. Book stands for a stand on. Now, the ones I've seen online, think, oh, they do. And then I read the description of them, and they're designed for Muslim households to have a copy of the Quran open at certain pages. So I've decided against that idea. I'm not in any way, shape, or form a religious person. But I think if I was to do that and then start posting pictures on Facebook of Das Boot on a stand that was meant for the Quran, would be quite disrespectful. So I've decided against that idea. I've seen a couple of other sort of book things, but the way these were, they were like, they just opened out. I thought, oh yeah, that'd be great. But then, you know, in my mind, that would be disrespectful to people. So I'm not going to bother with that. I'll come up with another idea. In fact, a friend at work, she said her husband loves carpentry and doing things with wood and that. So she was going to have a word with him, see if he could. I haven't seen her for a couple of days, so hopefully she'll come back and say, yeah, what size is Dave? His husband will knock you some up. Because he likes being creative, apparently, with wood. So, PVA anyway, quite happy PVA anyway. Yeah, I think you're right, Andy, with the French nonsense. Yeah, it's not just because of that. I just think myself personally that would be quite disrespectful. So, although I'm quite a brash character, you know, I'm autistic. I don't have very much of a brain to mouth filter. When I sit and think about things for 30 seconds or so, it's like, oh yeah, maybe that's not a good idea. Only one more to get some PVA on. Oh, it's gone quiet, see. Well, you haven't missed anything then. Just me sticking some PVA on basics. Right, that's the PVA on. Put the paper down. Have a bit of paper down. Be sensible for change. Probably sent the white balance scatty. Oh, because it's got writings on it. Right, this is PS400 Woodland Ground Cover. This is Pico scenery stuff. It's designed for model wearers. It's quite it, but it's actually proper forest litter. So the way I was basing the other ones was coming out of the edge of a forest onto a bit of grass. So we'll carry on the same, because that's the thing. If you're doing Warhammer miniatures or tabletop gaming miniatures, once you start to base your figures, stick to that. Otherwise, it looks stupid. If your half your army looks like it's coming out of the forest onto some nice lush green meadow, and the other half of your army looks like it's walking out of the desert, looks a bit silly on the table. And these are for tabletop gaming, which at the moment is quite upsetting, because next door, just the other side of there, just the other side of that wall there, is Ryan and Moose, my next door neighbours. And Ryan's the same as me. He plays Warhammer, we play Zombicide, we play all sorts of tabletop gaming. And we were, Sunday, as it was my first Sunday off in a very long time, it was going to be gaming night, gaming day, afternoon. We're going to play Zombicide. But now we can't. No, we can't. But never mind. It's the way the world's on fire. Once it affects your gaming, that's not good. Playing in the dirt. Lynn, I love playing in the dirt. You know what I'm like. The dirtier the better. Scott will tell you. What's Dave like? The dirtier the better. Right, so we'll get some green on. Sprinkle some in there. Put that there so I can't knock it over. But knowing me, I probably will. I'll sprinkle on some green. Tap it off, and it's that simple. I think that looks quite nice. It has a nice contrasting effect with the mahogany wood of the figure and the grassy greeny colour. I think it's quite nice. Nice contrast. But that's just me. Everybody else will think, no, that's bloody rubbish, Dave. You know, it looks poo. You Burke. That there. And then finally, I'll be able to get these off the bench. These have been sat on this bench. Now, I've been working on them for about a month now, on and off, doing different levels of highlighting and shading, and it's getting to the point now. It's like I've got to get them off the bench. It's starting to dry them at the wall now. Then on to Pastures New. I don't know what to do next. I've still got that very large 1/72 steel U-boat I was doing. I've got to get my spray booths and all that lot set up again downstairs, because there just isn't room in here for it. And she, who farts in bed, actually gave me permission to do it. I can put the spray booth up down in our bedroom for a bit. I've got to take it down every time. I can't leave it set up. But that's okay, because that 1/72 U-boat is huge. It's a metre long. I've got to spray it. I've got to paint it. And then, like a fool, I went and bought the same thing, the same scale 1/72, the Revell ones, the premium ones with all the photo etch and all that. I went out and bought the American Gator class one as well, which is even bigger. It's slightly longer, so that's going to be fun. Got that to do. I'm tempted. I am tempted, although it does worry me a little bit. It scares me. It scares me. I've got that to do, but this actually scares me because of the seat belts. It's got the, you've got to make them yourself seat belts and all that in there. Oh, it's scaring me a little bit. But that, I've got Airwolf, I've got Night Rider. Oh, I've got the Warthog. I might do the Warthog. Oh, I could do that, couldn't I? I bought the old Tamiya Warthog. I might do that next, actually. I quite fancy doing that. Although I do have a Spirit of Darthu I haven't even started yet, which he's still in the box, which is the big tree lordy thing, the big sword. You get the choice of 3. That's just the tree lord. You've got a tree lord ancient, which is the same. The thing with these Games Workshop, they're very clever. You can build 3 of the big figures. There's different variants, so there's different arms, or there's different and a different head, but the body's the same and interchangeable parts. You get 3 options. So there's a tree lord ancient, which is one with the staff, and one called the Spirit of Dathu, which is a named character. That's a tree lord with a big sword, basically, and big glowy things coming out of his face. So I'm tempted to do that. I'm tempted to do that one as the Spirit. But that will be a painting challenge. Not that we don't like a good painting challenge. We love a good painting challenge. So I think that's what I'll do now. I might just do that. I don't know, next week. It's either going to be the Warthog or the Spirit of Dathu next week. I don't know. I don't know. So what's everybody else doing? What am I supposed to go? Oh, the grass. Sorry. No, I rolled some earlier, look, I'm all right. That's not what you're thinking, it's that. It's that. I don't do that anymore. I've been clean for 24 years now. Been a good boy. I saw the jewelry you posted on Facebook, it's pretty. Oh, Scott with his, yeah, he does make some very nice, pretty things at Warthog. They do. And did you notice what they did, Warthog, with the advertisement? They put a picture of Scott on their adverts. It's very clever. That young lady that works at Warthog in their promotions department is a very clever young lady. Because he just shouted to me, and I said to him, you know what, Scott? You know what that means, don't you? That's her saying, if you look this bad, better buy your girlfriend lots of jewelry. You know, sorry, Scott, I couldn't help it, mate. He's going to shout at me later. He's going to hang out later. He's going to moan at me later. Thank you. Oh dear. Oh, tea's good. Can't beat tea. Oh. Well, 2 days at work and then 8 days off. We were supposed to be going. It was supposed to be Telford next weekend. It would have been. And I'd already booked the holiday. Already booked the time off because it was Telford. We were going to go again. But unfortunately, we're going to have to wait for next year. But then, is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? You're not seen the advert with Scott in it yet. He's in a very funny position. Scott will explain. Come on, Scott, explain to the people in chat. When the photographer came out to take the picture, what did you have to do for this little tiny photographer to take a picture of you? And the angle you had to get out. It's funny. It's funny. Next year's going to be a different mess, I think. Do you know what I think is going to happen, Andy? This is quite scary. This is quite scary. It's like level bosses in a game, isn't it? Like a computer game. I think the end boss for this year will be the end of us all, mate, because it'll be the Yellowstone National Park super volcano erupting, taking out probably 2/3 of America, putting huge amounts of dust and dirt and muck and that in the atmosphere, nuclear winter for 6 years, cause the next ice age, and then we're knackered. We're all dead. Extinction event. That's quite scary, isn't it? That's all it would take. Oh dear. Ooh, 2020 emboss. Yellowstone super volcano. Godzilla showing up. Well, it could be. Could be Godzilla. Or the kaiju, wasn't it? Pacific Rim. So People slated that film when it came out, didn't they? At the box office, all these critics and that slate films and all that. I thought Pacific Rim was a fantastic film. I loved it. It was great. Who doesn't like big 80-foot robots beating monsters up? Who doesn't like that? Strange people. How can you not like that? Bloody weirdos. The second one was all right as well. I quite enjoyed the second one too. As Kenneth would say, it's a bit like Prometheus. It's a good film as a standalone film. I had to get that one in, Kenneth, when you watch later. You've got to get Prometheus gagging for Kenneth. It's the law. Has to be done. Exactly. Giant monsters for the win and big robots beating them up. What more do you want? Lynn, have you never seen Pacific Rim? Lynn. Never mind going to work. Go and stand in the corner and go and have a good talking to yourself, because it's worth watching. It's as far-fetched as a bucket of poo from China, but it's worth watching because it's a good yarn. Lynn. I'm shocked. I'm shocked, Lynn. I don't know. What we need is somebody to do the kits from Pacific Rim. Because they'd be like Gundams, won't they? At the end of the day, they are actually Gundams, aren't they? You're not seeing the second one, it's all right. It's on a par with the first one, mate. In fact, there's a couple of funny little bits in there that are quite cute, like some young lady that makes her own little tiny kite. Not kaiju. Is it? No, that was the monsters with the kaijus, weren't they? What did they call them? Oh, what's can't remember now. The old Godzilla movies. Yeah, they're all right. I mean, they're all Godzilla movies are all right. The classics, aren't they? Even the last one with, what's his name in it? The worm guy. They called him the worm guy in it, wasn't it? And the French actor. They were all right. It's all right. It's watchable. You know, watchable stuff. And honestly, mate, the second one is worth watching. It's all right. It's a good film. It's a good little film. It's one of them films where if you were see it at the cinema, you'd leave your brain in the basket outside the cinema door and then go and watch it and then pick your brain up on the way out. If you treat it like that, it's a great movie. It's great. Oh, a good cup of tea. Can't beat a good cup of tea. Oh, well, I've not to do now. We've got nothing to do. Nothing to do. Apart from play World of Warcraft. I do that for the rest of the day. Might do a bit of World of Warcraft. I could do. Got stuff to do in that, because if you played World of Warcraft in the past, the new expansion comes out on the 24th. Yeah, there you are. Scott's finally decided to type in what happened at work. Oh. Get on your knees. Do as you talk. Get on your knees and start polishing. I don't know. Anyway, should we do model making times? I've given up, actually. I've lost track. I'm assuming I'm going to carry on doing this. I was going to give up Jaegers. Thanks, Andy. What's Jaegers? Cheers, mate. I was going to stop doing these Thursday lives because people have gone back to work. But oh, it's the fox. The fox is in. Good afternoon, sir. Nice to see you. I'm glad you're here because you can tell us what you're doing this week. Because my model making times is so far out of date, I wing it. So what day are we on? We're on Thursday, aren't we? Thursday this evening is an evening with Chris. It's an evening with Chris. It's not an evening with everybody because that's the end of the month, isn't it? And this is the start of the month. So it's an evening with Chris at 8. Friday, things fall out of Fox on a Friday sometimes, but I don't know. So Fox will tell you in the chat in a minute what Fox is up to this week, what he's planning to do this week, because there are lots of people off work now, and we all need something to watch. So, Fox, come on, what are you doing? Apart from getting moist, what are you doing this week? Friday, Natalie's at 8 o'clock with her next to us crafting. Saturday, Fox is on again at 3, I think, with his Skyrim. He may be doing all sorts of things. Dave makes them. I'm not making, so I've got nothing to make. I've got nothing to make. I've done figure. Look, I've done basing. I've based 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 figures. 8 figures I've based. You don't moan at Fox when he takes an all afternoon to do 2 figures. I've based 8. Nobody moans at Fox. Actually, yeah, we do actually, don't we? We do moan at Fox. I'll take that back. Yes, we do moan at Fox. Anyway, what was doing Saturday evening, it's the crash with James and Carl and Chris and Lewis at 8. And then Sunday, it's Months for Heroes early in the morning. Colin and Dave at 12. James in between, sorry. That's what Fox is doing. Fox is doing Fallout. See, I knew things were done a Fallout of Fox on Friday. 3 till 6. Look at that. Skyrim on Saturday. Warhammer Sunday at 3 p.m. and it's his usual routine. And then emails on Monday. You see, if I've got emails on Monday, Fox, I haven't got another Dungeon Norway to make, Andy. I haven't. I mean, I haven't even got the shelves up to put the rest of the dungeon stuff on yet. Oh, look, I've chipped that. Now, look. I'll have to paint that later. Oh, flipping heck. Anyway, that was Skull Cave. How to make something useful out of a £1 bit of plastic thing from Poundland. Came out all right, didn't it? I think. That's the job. Tommy will instantly think that's the way you get in the dungeon. That's the entrance to the cave. See, because he's not daft, Tommy. He's not daft. He does love D&D, you know. I've created, and funny enough, my 23-year-old daughter Jenna. What's the pink fleshy thing at the top? What? The pink fleshy thing at the top right of the screen. There I am. I don't know. What pink fleshy thing? This? This is my water in a copy thing. Pink fleshy thing. You can't see that. You can't see the pink fleshy thing that's up there on the shelf. That's Bagpuss. Bagpuss sits on the shelf. He's a pink fleshy thing. I'm looking at my monitor. Yeah. What's that? That's the bin. That's my arm. That's my kettle. That's my sonic cleaner. Oh, this. Oh, it's my light. It's just a boom for the light. That. Yeah. That's Bagpuss. I'll put him back. Should I put Bagpuss back on the shelf? Who hasn't got Bagpuss on the shelf? That's where Bagpuss is supposed to be, sitting on its shelf. Top right. I don't do close Fox. It's backwards on here as well, because this is, I don't know, it's reversed. Anyway, where were we? We were talking about model making times. Sunday on 3 Rolls. Yeah, James at, what time was James? 9 o'clock on James, wasn't it? Was it 10? 10. Colin and Dave, Fox on at 3 o'clock. Dad at 6:15 with the in-between show as you show. And then Chris or Ted at 8. Monday, 9 o'clock, E-Models. And then Tuesday, it's prime time with Phil, Dad, and myself. And that's your viewing this week. For more viewing, if you go on to Monsters for Heroes, they've got a calendar on there that tells you lots and lots of shows that are on during the day and that. And that's like what I class as national YouTube TV. This is we do local because we're local. We've got to do that. Put your finger on your nose like local TV for local people. Anyway, that was it. That was it. Scott's saying check out warthog.co.uk, Lynn, and you'll see a picture of Scott who's actually on his knees looking up. You can actually see right up his nostril, and he's trying to polish something as a bloke stood above him with a camera. It would have been funny to say. It was funny when he described it. It would have been funny to watch. So I say, anybody got anything in the chat? Any last things before I go off and play World of Warcraft? Put my feet up, chill out. I've got to pick Tommy up from the bus because Pip's not feeling very well. So I took Tommy to school this morning, to the bus to school this morning. Got to pick him up. Anybody? Last comments? Fox, any last comment? No, please don't. No. Forget I said that. Forget I said that. Because random this, random that. Exactly, everything's random. We had nothing planned today, Lynn. I wasn't going to do. You have come right at the end, Fox. Sorry, mate. Sorry. But that's what I do with you. I come. Did we do? Oh, yeah. I based some miniatures, and I explained what I'm doing. I'm doing a video. You know what I did? I did the U-boat in resin coming out of the book. I'm doing that Spitfire, and it's going to be flying out of that book. Like that, see, open like that. Stick the wedge inside, and the Spitfire will be flying out of the book. So I explained how I've been doing that. I've been doing it. I've been filming it as I'm doing it because you can only do so much pouring at a time, otherwise you run the risk of this stuff cracking. So, and I went for that false perspective of it, like you look at it that way, which is good because if you looked at it that way, you'd see all the lines where the resin pours are. You can't get over that. There's nothing you can do about that. It was just an impromptu live stream. So anyway, well, you know, hopefully I'll finish doing a pause on that by Sunday. We'll let it all harden up over Monday, and then Monday afternoon, because I'm off on holiday. So Monday afternoon, I'll probably strip the acrylic off it, get it all tied up at the edge and that, and then edit the video. So hopefully Monday or Tuesday, the video for this, how I built it, every single day, all the different pours as I was doing it, and hopefully that will be up on the tubings. Well, that looks weird like that. It's just got half a back fin in the water. Looks pretty cool in the resin. But that was just an experiment, Fox, to see if I could do air. Anyway, well then, have fun, everybody. Don't forget, the next thing to watch is Thursday is this evening, isn't it? Oh no, it's cold, isn't it? Is it cold? No, they did it last night. Yeah, Chris, this evening is the next thing to watch. You know, it might be fun. It might be fun. You never know. Anyway, thanks for watching all. Thanks for being you. Thanks for coming in, sticking a thumb up. And don't forget, there is a very, very nasty virus going around. So what you got to do? You're going to wash your hands and keep the change, you filthy animal. And I'll see you next week. How do I turn this thing off again? Oh, there it is. There's a button or something in there. I found it.